Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel today. My name is Hannah Olson if you are new here, and I am a stay-at-home mom to two kids. We have a 5-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son, and we are due with our third child in about 7 weeks here, so pretty soon we will be a family of 5. I love sharing about all things motherhood, homemaking, and even homeschooling. But today's video is a little bit different. We are talking about the Yoto player. This is not a sponsored video at all. I do have a discount code that Yoto will offer to anybody to share with others. So I do have a discount code for 10% off for you because, spoiler alert, we do love our Yoto player. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of my honest thoughts and feelings about it, what I initially thought, and maybe some ways that we've tweaked things a little bit and what we think is a good deal and not a good deal. I first heard about the Yoto player about a year ago, especially on Instagram. I saw influencers beginning to share about it, and I wasn't quite sure what to think. Honestly, I thought it was more of one of those trendy Christmas gift idea items that you buy for your kids because it's popular that year, and then they will soon forget about it. And so I knew I didn't want to jump in right away. I gave it many months of consideration before we ended up deciding to get a Yoto player for our own family. So this is not something that I just jumped into because I thought it was trendy and fun. I've waited, I've sat back and kind of evaluated what other people were saying about the Yoto player, and then of course we assessed for ourselves whether or not it was a wise purchase. My main hesitation with the Yoto player was that I knew our children loved books and loved stories and being read to, but I didn't know if audiobooks would be their thing, and it seemed like it had a pricey price tag to just jump in and hope for the best. Thankfully, when we did decide to jump in and get a Yoto player for our family, it has turned out to be incredibly worth it. So what is a Yoto player? First of all, a Yoto player is a kid-friendly way for them to listen to audio content and audio books. So the Yoto player I'm going to show you today is the mini Yoto player. The company makes a regular size and a mini size. We have the mini and we've been very, very happy with it. I will explain more later what the differences are between the regular size and the mini size and why we chose the mini. But I'll show you the mini so you can see kind of how it works. So this is the mini Yoto player, the mini, and as you can see, it's not huge, it is mini, and it has a slot at the top where you place a plastic card, which I will also show you, and then there are two little knobs that you can turn and even push in to click on the front, and there's a gray button on the side. That's the power button. There's also a charger port or a charging hole right here, and some kind of grippy stuff on the bottom so it doesn't really slide off of surfaces. I love how intuitive the design of the Yoto player is. Your child just has to put in one of these plastic cards, one of these Yoto cards, right in the top, and it will begin to play if the Yoto player has been turned on. And the left knob controls the volume, while the right knob can control the chapter selection, and they can be pushed in to click quickly, but as soon as your child takes that card out of the top, it actually pauses the story, which I love, and then it will pick up right where they left off when they slide it right back in there. So we have a 5-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old son, like I had mentioned earlier, and the Yoto player has been perfect for these ages, absolutely perfect. Our 5-year-old is especially soaking it up, but our 3-year-old gets so much out of it as well. Now the Yoto player is marketed towards being for ages 3 through 12 plus. So that means 12 and up, of course, and there are cards, all the Yoto player story cards, that are labeled or sorted and filtered by age. So there are cards that are especially good for like ages 5 through 8, and then there are some that are even labeled as ages 8 through 12 plus. So as you can see, the Yoto player has such a good age span. It's such a good range of ages that it is for. Let's talk about the differences between the Yoto player and other audio options out there, such as the Tony box, if you've heard of that, T-O-N-I-E, the Tony box, as well as things like a CD player or other ways you can just play things for your children like YouTube or onto a Bluetooth speaker. So the Tony box was something I was looking into briefly when I was considering getting the Yoto player for our family, just to make sure I was making good comparisons and to see what really was a better fit for our family and what was a better deal even. And the Tony box actually, instead of plastic cards, has these little figurines, maybe about this tall, and the figurines, they are like characters from especially Disney movies or other shows. They fit into the top of the Tony box and play content that way. So it's definitely more character based. They have a lot of characters that you can collect. Something I didn't want to have to do, or have our family have to do, is keep track of lots of little figurines and little characters, because we already have enough toys. We definitely have done our share of decluttering and purging toys and simplifying. I'm happy with the amount of toys that we have right now, and I just didn't want to start adding on more and more figurines. And I think it's hard sometimes for little kids, or even a parent who's cleaning up toys, to discern what is the Tony box character and what might be a plastic toy that just needs to be put in a bin. I had also heard that the focus of the Tony box is more of a playful focus for younger ages as well. And so I wanted us to have something that would grow up with our children a little bit better than that. And I also wanted something more literature based or literature focused. Meaning, yes, the Yoto player has a lot of content that's things like Disney movies and other shows or something your children might be familiar with, such as Paw Patrol, but there are so many wonderful other literature options available for the Yoto player that are not available for the Tony box. So for example, we have Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne, so high vocabulary levels. We have all of those stories, they're all in one card. We also have Frog and Toad by Arnold Lobel, and there are many other options that are available as your kids get older, especially things like Anne of Green Gables and Stuart Little and The Tale of Despereaux. So as you can see, there are just a lot of good literature options that are for older ages and older kids. It's not just a playful character focus with the Yoto player. So that's basically why I chose not to get the Tony box. I just thought it was such a better focus for the Yoto player in terms of the literature available, and I also don't like the figurines idea. And then in terms of a CD player or playing a cassette, those are just, I guess in this day and age, a little bit harder to find some of the content that you might be looking for, and I don't really want my children in charge of CDs and trying not to scratch CDs or manipulate and learn how to manage a CD player. Although I'm sure they could learn how to do it, I just prefer not to be dealing with something fragile that can get scratched. We do play a lot of things onto a Bluetooth speaker that I have. I have a portable Bluetooth speaker, but I really like the fact that the children can control these Yoto stories themselves. So, should you get the regular size Yoto player or the mini size Yoto player? After a lot of consideration and deliberation, just because we wanted to get a good deal and get what would be the best fit for our family, my husband and I decided to actually get one mini Yoto player, this is the mini, for our children to share. I know some families get a mini for every single child in the family, or even a regular size Yoto player for every single child, but we decided just to kind of dip our toes in the water, see what we thought about getting one mini for our kids to share. So some differences between the Yoto players. This mini is about, is it 3 to 3.5 inches each way and like 1.5 inches thick. The regular size Yoto player is more like 4 inches by 4 inches and then a lot thicker. So like more of a cube shape. It's like 4 inches thick. So it's definitely more of a boxy thing that you would set up on like a nightstand. This one, the mini, is marketed for on-the-go play and taking it places like in the car or just more of a mobile lifestyle, but the regular size Yoto player is marketed more for around the house listening. Honestly though, we use this for around the house listening. We're home a lot, we homeschool, and we have not felt like there have been any negative sides to this being the on-the-go size. As far as price differences go, as of right now, which is the end of January 2023, this Yoto Player Mini is running at $69.99, so $70, and the regular size is $99.99. So $100. So there is a $30 difference between the two sizes. The regular size Yoto Player has a magnetic charging dock, and our little mini Yoto Player has just one of those USB-C cords. So a charger cord that's very easy to plug in. Now the mini Yoto Player has a 20-hour battery life. This one can run for 20 hours without needing to be recharged, while the regular size Yoto Player runs for half that time at 10 hours. Both of the Yoto Players have a regular headphone jack in the side, which allows your children to listen to them using headphones. And this is the pixel display on our Mini. As you can see, it's just showing just showing clouds and a sun and what time it is right now. But this is a small pixel display that is on every Yoto Player, including the larger Yoto Player. It's just a larger display on the regular size Yoto Player. And what this does is it actually shows a little graphic. It's very pixelated, so it's not like showing an animated movie or something alongside the story, but it shows a little graphic that is related to the current story and to the current chapter of the story. I turned the volume down so you're not listening to Frozen right now, but I just stuck the Frozen card in, and you can see a little pixel display here of an ice castle, which is related to the Frozen movie. And different chapters sometimes have different pictures as well. So it is related to the chapter. It's nothing really that the kids, maybe they'll delight in seeing what the picture is, but they won't really be watching anything. Here's another quick example. This is just a little pixel display of Elsa. So why are we happy with our mini Yoto Player? Well, the volume still gets nice and loud. It can project across an entire living room or across the kids' entire bedroom, and they can hear it just fine. So that's not a concern between the two sizes. And it's $30 less, so I do like the cheaper price tag of that Yoto Player. And I also did hear that the Mini is a little bit more sturdy. So I don't think sturdiness is a problem or something to be worried about with the Yoto Players, but something that was mentioned that I read is that the larger, so the big boxier Yoto Player, the regular size, if it falls off of a table really hard onto a card, it could potentially hurt the plastic card and make it unplayable. So I thought it might be wise with a busy 3-year-old boy and a busy 5-year-old girl in the house to just have a smaller Yoto Player, one that I'm not concerned about falling off of a table. This has definitely made its way to the floor a couple times, but it just does a light little bounce and nothing has snapped or broken or really fallen apart. It's very sturdy, it's very well made. I had just heard that the larger Yoto Player might be a slight concern with a card being in it as it falls down. So even though the mini Yoto Player is marketed for more on the go, while the regular size Yoto Player is for around the home, we've used this around the home. We do it all the time. We use it around the house. We've brought it places, but we have not once wished that we had the regular. So if that gives you a little bit of advice or insight, we have not once wished we had the regular size, so we're really happy with our $69.99 mini size Yoto Player. Let's talk about the Yoto cards. That means all of these plastic little cards that have the audio content on them. They all pretty much look like this on the back. They are made out of a thick plastic and they have the story, this one says Frozen, right on the front, so it's very easy for children to recognize and select the card that they want to listen to. There are so many cards to select from in the Yoto card store online. You can also do it via the app. So you will be getting the free app when you get the Yoto Player, and that is a wonderful way for you to kind of control and manage the content as well as volume from your phone. You can set the max volume, which I forgot to mention earlier. That's always really nice. But when you buy a card, a story card online, it does get shipped to you in the mail, but it automatically and instantly becomes available to you in your Yoto app. This means that you can listen to the content right away. You don't have to wait for the shipping period of time until it comes to your front door. You can right away start playing it for your children on their Yoto player. So we've definitely done that when we've been waiting for a new card to come. We've just started playing it on this. It just can play from your phone's app right onto this like a Bluetooth speaker, and there's no card needed in the top. The purpose of having these physical cards though is so that you as the parent are not always having your children request something and then you're playing it on the speaker for them. They get to do the independent listening themselves, which is so empowering for them, and it just makes everyone's life easier. So Yoto cards are about $9.99 or $10 up to maybe $12.99 or $13. So anywhere between $10 and $13 is pretty normal, I would say, for a Yoto card. Sometimes they run less, sometimes there are sales, or just a card that has maybe less content on it. Maybe it's like a songs card, preschool songs or something, and it's a little bit less, but then they also sell bundles. So we had bought a Frozen bundle, so we own a Frozen 1 and 2, so of course that cost a little bit more. So cards are not super cheap, and that is something we really considered or factored into our decision when buying a Yoto player, because it was like buying a book. It is like buying a book, and we wanted to make sure that we were getting a good deal, which is actually why we ended up choosing to join the Yoto Club, which is a monthly subscription. I will explain more about that soon, but first of all, I just want to talk a little bit more about these cards. What I really like about these Yoto cards is you're not putting a card in to get about 5 minutes of audio entertainment, which just further capitalizes on short attention spans or encourages shorter attention spans. These cards are often very long, at least in my adult mind. So for instance, this Moana one, if your child likes the movie Moana, the Moana card is actually 2 hours and 46 minutes long. That's longer than the movie, and so I feel it really fosters a longer attention span. A lot of these Disney cards do not have the songs, all of the Disney songs, maybe for copyright reasons, probably for copyright reasons, but they describe things so well, and in all of the cards pretty much, there are these wonderful background noises like the ocean waves, or for 101 Dalmatians, there are the street sounds of living in London, all sorts of really cool sound effects. So it's definitely not the same as some of those YouTube videos where someone just kind of blandly reads a book out loud. So when you're looking to buy cards online, you can filter the results of all of the cards they have, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cards. You can filter the results by ages 0 to 5, ages 5 to 8, and then ages 8 to 12 plus. Another cool thing about when you buy your cards and they're instantly available to you in your app is it makes it so much easier to play cards in the car when you're driving. And so I don't bring our mini Yoto player in the car because we have the Bluetooth capabilities in our van, and I'm able to quickly just click something from our Yoto app, like 101 Dalmatians, for instance, or Winnie the Pooh, and we can be listening to that automatically just directly from my phone onto the car's speakers. Before I talk about the Yoto Club subscription, I did want to share some of our favorite cards because I know there are hundreds of cards out there, and I'm hoping that maybe some of my recommendations might help you if you are struggling to decide or just want some good recommendations. So we keep all of our cards in this case. This is like a business card organizer. It's from Amazon, and I got it for about $10. The Yoto company also sells a card organizer or card holder, and I believe it's $30. So if you want a $10 one, I will also link this one below because it's been perfect for us, and I don't think we need anything more fancy than that. It holds, I wish I remembered how many it holds. It holds a lot of business cards, but the Yoto cards fit perfectly in there as well. Now, for any of these cards I am sharing with you, you can also hop onto the Yoto Player website and you can listen to an audio sample of the content. So that kind of gives you a good feel, of course, for how it sounds, who the narrator is, and some of the sound effects too. So definitely hop online and listen to some of the audio samples if you're interested in any of these cards. This one is called Winnie the Pooh, the Complete BBC Collection, and it is a really, really great one. I love this one so much. It is hilarious. It has high vocabulary levels used in it, but our children just love it and they still find it really engaging and entertaining. This one is almost 4 hours long. This one is the Frog and Toad collection by Arnold Lobel, and it's actually narrated by him too, which is super fun. He does such a good job with it, of course, because it's his stories. They are hilarious stories. We have the collection, like the physical book as well. We just love this, and I was so thrilled to see that they have a Yoto card of it. This one is about an hour and a half long. We also have Moana, which is one of our favorite Disney movies. We don't have all the Disney movies, and we're not a fan of every single Disney movie out there. We just really like this one, and it's, again, almost 3 hours long, which is super fun for the kids. Another favorite of ours is 101 Dalmatians, just such a good classic Disney movie. One note I will make about this one is, of course, if you are familiar with the Disney movie, Cruella de Vil does call people not only fools, but idiots, and so that's something just to be aware of, or maybe have a conversation with your kids about. But we love 101 Dalmatians. Another favorite of ours is Beauty and the Beast. This is one of Yoto Player's several retellings that they sell, actually, of Beauty and the Beast. This one is just described as a junior novel retelling, and our daughter Sophie, age 5, especially really loves princesses and princess stories, so this one is a favorite of hers. We also own the Frozen junior novel retelling bundle. So that's just 2 different junior novels, kind of retellings of the Frozen movies. We've got Frozen 1 and Frozen 2, so that came in a little bundle together. This next card is our son's favorite card. Our son Soren is 3 and he loves Paw Patrol. This is called Goodnight Adventure Bay, and it is more of a bedtime stories card. It has very peaceful, slow music. It's narrated in a very mellow and peaceful way. I love it. It's perfect for winding down, not only at bedtime or before quiet time or nap time, but pretty much any time of day, which is when our son chooses to listen to it. There are about 7 short stories on this, but it's about maybe 48 minutes long. This next card will especially be good as our kids get older, but this is called Star Wars. It's the prequel trilogy, and it's about an hour and a half long, and it's a higher vocabulary level, and of course it's describing all the plot lines of the prequel trilogy for Star Wars, which is really fun, and I think it'll really grow with the kids well. They are actually still engaged by it. They still enjoy it right now at this age, but I can tell it'll be even better as they get older. This was actually one that my husband and I picked for one of our 2 free cards from our Yoto Club subscription, which I will again talk about more really soon here. We also have a set here called the Ancient Adventures Collection. There are 4 cards in this set, and it's just about ancient cultures. So we have Meet the Ancient Romans, we have Meet the Pirates, Meet the Ancient Greeks, and Meet the Ancient Egyptians. And so with my husband being a history buff and a former history teacher, and we just plain thought this would be educational and fun, we wanted to get this ancient cultures little bundle here. This is a good one for kids because it's told in a kid-friendly way, and it's actually told in a humorous way too, with funny little facts and tidbits about these ancient cultures, or just interesting facts and tidbits too. But these cards are entertaining, and they do get into things like the ancient cultures' religions and famous people from those cultures, or even what daily life was like. So those have been really interesting. I think those 4 cards total at like 2.5 hours if you listened to all 4 in a row. When we got our Yoto Player, when we purchased our Yoto Player Mini, we got this card, which is called a Make Your Own card. And that's another big fun aspect of the Yoto Players. You get to make your own cards with MP3 files that you have yourself. Of course, they encourage you to be really respectful about copyright and not just put anything on these cards. But what you can do is buy an audiobook that your children really love and put it onto a Make Your Own card. That is what I did with our Jesus Storybook Bible. I bought the audiobook version of this Jesus Storybook Bible, and I think it's over 2 or 3 hours long, and I got it all onto our Make Your Own card. So now our kids can pop this into the top of the Yoto Player, and it'll start playing all of the or reading all of the Bible stories, and they can even follow along with the pictures if they choose to do so. So that's really, really fun. A lot of people get even more creative than that and do something like record a grandparent reading a favorite story or singing a song that the whole family knows. You can put music on it as well. Just a lot of creative and educational and fun ideas that you can do with a make your own card. And they even sell these in packs of, I think, 5 or 10 make your own cards, so you can get a ton of audio content onto your kids' Yoto players without even really buying all of the stories that are available if you really want to customize all sorts of things for your family. So Yoto has some other neat options available that aren't actually physical cards. They have podcasts, they have Yoto radio, they have all sorts of audio content available directly onto the Yoto player, or you can stream it or play it from your Yoto app. We have not gotten super into the podcast side of the Yoto player because we're still really enjoying all of the cards, and I think that will remain our focus for the Yoto player. But something we've really loved is we discovered a soundscapes lab, it's called. And there's an ocean soundscapes lab, is it a construction site? There might even be a pirate ship. Our favorite is the ocean soundscape because it plays on a never-ending loop, and it sounds like you're descending in a submarine below the ocean surface, and you can hear whales and you can hear the water, and it's very relaxing and peaceful. My daughter loves it. Our daughter loves it so much just because she loves the ocean, and that one has been really fun too. So I did want to make sure to mention they have other audio options, including little things like soundscapes. Let's talk about the Yoto Club. The Yoto Club is an ongoing subscription that provides you with 2 free cards per month, 10% off of purchases, and free shipping. So it's those 3 main things: 2 free cards, 10% off everything, and then free shipping. Now, it's an ongoing subscription. It is something that you can pay for monthly or annually. I'll tell you the prices in a sec, but basically it is a choice that you get to pick. It's an add-on. It is not required as part of your purchase of a Yoto player. And that was one of the questions I had for customer service. And just in doing my research, I wanted to make sure we weren't signing up for something that we didn't really know about or really want to have. Now, it turns out we wanted, after evaluating it, to have this Yoto Club subscription because my husband and I felt it was a really good deal, at least for this first year of really building up our library of Yoto cards. So like I said, you can pay for the Yoto Club monthly or annually. If you pay monthly, it is $9.99 a month or $10 a month. But if you choose to pay annually, it is $99 a year, which comes out to about $8.25 per month. We chose to go with the annual payment and just really jump in and give it a shot for a year as we are building up our library. So we did the $99 right away for 1 year of the Yoto Club, and we get those 2 free cards per month. So the cool thing about these 2 free cards per month that you get is that you don't have to choose 2 cards every single month. You can actually store or bank up your credits. It's 1 credit equals 1 card. So you can store those up for up to 12 months. And so that really allows you to have that flexibility and freedom in choosing your cards. If you maybe don't see one that you want this month, you can definitely stash those points away for later. So to get your free Yoto Club cards each month, you just go onto their website or onto the app and you look at this huge collection. It's a massive collection of Yoto cards, and you just filter it by a filter called like Show Me Yoto Club Cards Only, and then you'll still get something like 150 cards to choose from. So you definitely have a ton of choices for those free cards, and we just felt it was such a good deal to be a part of this club, to join this monthly subscription club, because cards are running at about $10 each. So if we're paying with our annual subscription, $8.25 per month, we are getting 2 free cards for that price, and that just makes a world of difference if you are trying to build up a Yoto card library for your family. We also really like that 10% discount if you want to buy a card that's not part of the Yoto Club selection each month. Something else to consider regarding the Yoto Club is the fact that shipping is not cheap with these Yoto cards. I had plugged it into an online cart just to see what it would be, and for buying a $10 card, it was I think $10 of shipping, which is a lot. And just having free shipping as part of the club also makes a big difference, because if you are going to be buying cards, you might as well be getting 2 free cards a month, 10% off, and then not paying $10 for shipping, even just if you're shipping 1 card. So definitely consider the Yoto Club subscription, and maybe it will be a good fit for your family. To conclude this Yoto player review, we love our Yoto player. It has been such a gift to our family. We got it as a gift for our children for Christmas this past year, so we've had it about 5 weeks. We use it every single day. We love that it is educational content. We love that it is enriching our kids' vocabularies, lengthening their attention spans, and they are asking for screen time much less. It cuts back on screen time, and I had heard that for a lot of families, and I wasn't quite sure if that would truly be the case, but we are asking for screen time less in our family. We still utilize screen time, but man, this has really been such a gift for us to have this screen-free entertainment option. This is not a new babysitter for our kids. They don't just sit and listen to it all day without it needing any adult interaction. That's not the goal of it. It is just a wonderful thing to have on in the background as we're doing maybe Play-Doh or coloring, or even during quiet times. There are so many good ways to infuse using the Yoto player into your daily life. I also love that there are no ads. There's nothing to skip past or have to click past or to avert your eyes from. As long as you as the parent are comfortable with the exact Yoto cards or content you have purchased for your family, then your children can manage it independently, and you can just feel at peace about the content that they are being offered. I love the high quality literature, how it's increasing their vocabulary and attention spans. We don't have our Yoto player on 24/7, but we do use it for probably hours every day. It is not a new babysitter for our family, but there are definitely really good ways that you can infuse the Yoto player into your family's daily life. Basically, the Yoto player is a great way to fill those pockets of time in your day with some educational content, and although we are not substituting at all our sit down, cuddle on the couch, reading books with our children, this is just another great way to drip in even more educational or read aloud content. So the Yoto player has been a beautiful new approach to read alouds for our family that we have never utilized before. I definitely recommend you check out the Yoto player. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. I do have a 10% discount for you. I will link that below. It's no code needed, it's just a link. So definitely check out the description box. If you're looking to get a Yoto player for your family, I want you to get that 10% off. It's just a referral link from me, and this video was not sponsored at all. I am just a huge fan of our Yoto player. We all are. I appreciate you stopping by my channel to watch. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more motherhood or homemaking or homeschooling content. Something I also wanted to mention is a motherhood course that I have. It's an online course all about motherhood and homemaking. So if you are looking for fresh perspectives in your motherhood journey, as well as ways to run your home smoothly, I have a course full of resources and strategies. So many strategies for you. It's got over 80 videos in it. It's called the Present Mama Playbook, and I will be linking information down below in the description box for that as well. Again, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.